gliding his now powerless aircraft over the river, flying just a few feet over the deck of the Homestead Bridge. He bled off all the aircraft's speed and gently splashed the plane into the river just before arriving at the Glenwood Bridge. A story you might have heard at a local bar at the time might have gone something like this.
Yeah, I heard the bomber was flying this way from over Roswell where they had the UFO sightings. After they ditched it in the Mon, the Army closed off the whole river. They had hundreds of soldiers looking for the thing. I think they pulled it out somewhere by Duck Hollow. They cut it up in pieces, wings, tail, and shipped them off. I bet it was an atom bomb on board, but I also heard it could have been a spy or maybe a chemical weapon.
Other versions of the story would claim that it was aliens, mustard gas, or mafia money that were being held on the bomber. All of these stories had something in common, however, the idea that the plane was removed from the river, disassembled, and then distributed to military bases across the country. These theories are further supported by local eyewitness testimonies, which claim to have seen parts of the plane being carried out of the water in the overnight hours in the days following the accident. In the 1970s, a local man called into a KDKA radio show claiming to be a cargo truck driver who had been contracted by the CIA to remove the wreckage from the crash site and transport it to a missile silo just outside of town. Theorists who believe in the government cover-up like to point to the heavily redacted nature of the report on the crash by the Air Force. But the military insists that redacting sensitive information is a normal practice of the U.S. Air Force. And I can personally attest that that is absolutely true. The U.S. government is no stranger to redacting information from the public record. Either way, many Pittsburghers are convinced that the government did have something to do with the plane's disappearance. There's others that are convinced the aircraft is definitely still down there just waiting to be found. This is the belief of Captain Jack Ross, a well-respected boat pilot and riverman from Monroeville, who quite literally wrote the book on boating in Pittsburgh. And he wrote to the Post-Gazette in 1994 arguing this very idea, saying that he found it odd that none of the supposed eyewitnesses of the military cover-up were the hundreds and hundreds of longshoremen, captains, rivermen, and boat pilots who were conducting their normal operations along the river. What do you think happened to the ghost bomber? Is it lurking at the bottom of the river, or was there something more nefarious involved? Let us know in the comments down below. And be sure to stay tuned for future videos where we explore the historic, the mysterious, and the fascinating stories in and around Pittsburgh.